Friday, Gemini. This is a general reading for the sign of Gemini. If you have Gemini anywhere in your birth chart, please know that there is a message in this reading for you. It is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Maybe all of this may resonate with you, or maybe bits and pieces, or maybe initially this reading may not resonate with you, but there is a good possibility that down the road something will resonate, something will click, some information in this reading will be beneficial to you. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Gemini. Also, Gemini, when I'm doing my readings, I do really try to focus on you and not necessarily your circumstances or the chaos or the drama or the karma that may be surrounding you. It's what can we do? What adjustments can we make? What parts of our lives can we look at to improve those? Many times when we turn to tarot readings, to horoscopes, and to that, it's because we're experiencing some kind of trauma, some kind of chaos in our lives that we're trying to maneuver, that we're trying to turn around to get to work for our advantage. And that's the information that I really try to provide, try to give you. What would Spirit like you to do? What would Spirit like you to look at? And what can we do to adjust to make our lives that much better, that much happier, that more make sense to us? Sometimes our lives just don't make sense to us. And what can we do to get our lives to make sense again, Gemini? Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Gemini. Also, Gemini, this month, the last quarter moon does move through the constellation for Gemini. So don't be surprised if you are wanting or calling or pulling to make changes in your life, or wanting to add a little more spontaneity to your life. And you may find yourself a little more talkative than usual. This is a good time to share your thoughts and your feelings with those closest to you, as your ability to keep a cool head will be lightened. Spirit is asking us or encouraging us to connect with those closest to us on a deeper level. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Gemini. And the foundation, the basis of this reading is stress and sleepless nights. I see you have some big changes coming on here, Gemini. Let's make sure that everything is in focus and you're able to see these cards. Perfect. We're liking how that is viewed. And we have the Nine of Swords. Stress and sleepless nights. What I will say about those sleepless nights are those bad dreams. Usually it is during our sleeping hours, during our sleeping times, or during our restful times that Spirit is able to connect with us the strongest. And so many times sleepless nights, nightmares, negative thoughts will affect us in our downtime like that in a negative way, because that is how Spirit is able to catch or capture our attention. And the more attention that we give our thoughts, or we give our dreams through maybe dream interpretation or a dream journal, or to track those and really take note of those, Spirit communicates with us. And the more we look at those and the more that we analyze them, the less nightmarish they become, the less stressful they become, the less traumatic they are. So, for example, if you're having nightmares or you're having night terrors, as soon as you wake up, journal what that bad dream was. And I do know, many people will say keep a notepad or something, but you can even use your phone as a memo, leave yourself a memo, leave yourself a voicemail of what your bad dream was. Even if you can only remember 2 or 3 things or one thing about that bad dream, do note it. And the more you pay attention to those dreams, the more you note them, and the more you do research. So you could just say, oh, maybe you had a dream that a lion was chasing you. And if you just Google or look at a dream book on lion chasing me, to try to analyze what spirit is trying to communicate with you. The more that you do that, the less those nightmares occur, and the more insight you gain into yourself, into what spirit is trying to communicate with you. Let's see how that stress and those sleepless nights and those nightmares play into the rest of your cards here, Gemini. And let's see if we can get you past that. What advice does Spirit have for you? Look at this. Leaving the past behind you. In your home, in your work life, in your career, in your professional life. You've had a new, fresh start. You've had a new, fresh start. And this new start, this fresh start, does not have you moving in the direction that you would like to go, or you're not moving in the direction that you would like to move. So maybe it's you have started a new career, or you started a new position and you thought it was in line with your career goals. Or maybe you did take that position knowing that it wasn't in line with your career goals, but it met the need at the time. And so whether you thought that this new position, this new opportunity, when you started it, it met the need at the time. But again, you have found yourself in a place where you're wanting to move on, where you're wanting to leave this position behind, and you're wanting to move towards something that is more in line with your goals, more in line with your soul's purpose, more rewarding to you. Quite possibly this new position that you have taken, it hasn't been rewarding to you. And you're wanting to make a change to find something that is more rewarding to you. And here we have the World card for you, Gemini. And what that World card is telling us is that it is time for you to connect with your greatness. And I think that, again, maybe that stress, those sleepless nights, those nightmares are asking you to connect, or guiding you on how to connect with your greatness. And you can also connect with that through art. I just feel that you're very artistic, you're very creative, and you know, there's many ways that you can use art to tap into your creativity. There's writing, painting, drawing, art, singing, playing an instrument, learning a new language, but something new to you. So even if you do have or do incorporate art into your work now, into your profession now, a new form of art, something new, a new form of art. And I do think that it could even be a hobby. Volunteer work, I love volunteer work, but something artistic that is new. So it could be maybe an art class, an art club, but something that is going to surround you with like-minded people. And so I think maybe in part that might be some of the wanting to move on, and why this current position may not be working or may not feel right to you, is that you are not surrounded by like-minded people. And by surrounding yourself with like-minded people, you will gain some of that emotional fulfillment, some of that security that you are looking for. Try something new, a club, a group, you know. And with the world being the way that it is now, Gemini, you know, obviously on YouTube there's groups and clubs that are about all different kinds of art forms. There's platforms on Facebook, Instagram, just many platforms that you can look at to connect with like-minded people who have some of the same interest as you do. And I think that that will also help alleviate some of that stress, that you're not feeling as alone, and you're focusing your energy on positive growth. In your home life, in your private life, in your family life, we have this beautiful Ace of Pentacles, which is the universe bringing you in a gift, a physical gift. A physical gift that's going to bring about change. Physical gift that is going to bring about change. It's something worldly, something physical. Something physical. And those sleepless nights and those stress, how do all these play together? there is a big change coming to your family. There is a big change coming to your family. There is a big change coming to your family. Or your home life. A move. A change of address. A change of home. A move, a change of address, a change of home. An adding of a member of a family, or somebody coming in or somebody leaving. But this change, when this change first happens, Gemini, you are not going to enjoy this change. This change is going to be stressful. This change is going to be stressful. Whether it's somebody moving in, somebody moving out, or you moving to a different location, it's not going to be enjoyable. But Spirit wants you to know that this is a gift, and it is a gift for your higher good, and it is a gift to help you on your life's path, to help you on your soul's journey. And your thought process, your feelings that you use or have towards this is going to determine whether this change is for your good or whether this change is for your detriment. So don't get stuck in negative thought patterns. Do not get stuck in negative worry. You do not need to do that. You can manage your thoughts, and you can manage your emotions, and you can even manage your stress level through meditation, through mindfulness. And what mindfulness is, it's not necessarily that we're having a thought, but looking at our thought or our thoughts from a third party perspective. So let's say, for example, that you've stubbed your toe, and every time you think about your toe, it hurts. And you seem to have a hard time not thinking about your toe and not thinking about the discomfort that it is causing you. To look at that from a third party's perspective, you would say, oh, I'm thinking about my toe. Why am I thinking about my toe? If I'm thinking about my toe, what are some other things that I can replace those thoughts with? And so then, instead of thinking about the pain, we could replace that with a gratitude thought where I'm so grateful that I have a toe. I'm so grateful that I'm experiencing this discomfort to let me know that there's something wrong. When I know that there's something wrong, I know that there are things that I can do to change that. And I do understand, Gemini, that that was a little bit simplistic, but I do hope that it was easy for you to follow. I will post a couple links in the description boxes of information that I think that you may find helpful in channeling your energy and channeling your thoughts and not letting negativity take you down, and how to turn a negative situation into a positive situation. Final thoughts, final messages. You know, also, Gemini, that last quarter moon, as it moves through the sign of Gemini on the 6th and the 7th of September, you can take those 2 days to relax and exercise your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. You can learn a new breathing technique that opens up your bronchial tubes and your lungs. This is a good time to connect with your inner strength through grounding. And grounding can include just being barefoot, gardening. There's a lot of things that we can do to ground ourselves, to connect ourselves with the earth, to find our center. And especially for you, Gemini, as that moon moves through the constellation of Gemini, we can really access and harness that energy to better serve us. The Emperor card, there. Okay. Past relative. Past male energy relative. Grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle, somebody with some authority, a past relative. And so when I'm talking about past relatives, I love to talk about past relatives, but when they come up in general readings, it can be a little bit frustrating. So please know that I do not always talk about relatives in my readings. And while this relative may connect and resonate with you, do not expect that during each of my readings that will occur. And so when your relatives show up in readings, it's just letting you know that you have found the right reader. You have found that right connection. And moving forward as you're listening and following that reader's readings, while the relative or your relatives may not show up, when they're showing up now is to letting you know that in the future you have connected with the right reader, and there's messages here in the future for you. But for this reading, we have that relative, that father figure, that grandfather figure, that uncle, that male figure that has passed on, that was very artistic and very creative. Very artistic and very creative. And I think that that is why you're being called in your public life, in your career, to bring the artistic element into that. That is your ancestor. That is your guardian angel. That is this past relative has passed on this gift to you, has passed on the gift of art to you, and is there encouraging you and supporting you in your artistic, your creative endeavor. They're wanting to connect with you, and they're wanting to share this love of art with you. So whether it's that learning that new language, the writing, the drawing, the dancing, the singing, the playing of an instrument, whatever it is, when you are doing this and you are enjoying this art, please know that your ancestor, your relative, is there with you, enjoying and expressing that love with you. Enjoying and expressing that love with you. Stay focused, keep it up, don't give up. So maybe you've been considering giving up your dream of being an artist, giving up your dream of being artistic. Your ancestors, your relative is asking you to don't give up. Keep that dream alive. Stay focused. And honestly, participate in the art of it, just simply for the love of doing it. Anytime you do something you love is not any time wasted. When you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that is the message that I have for Gemini. Gemini, please do leave in the comments, what is it? What artistic, what art are you participating in that you love? Put out that positive karma, put out that positive energy. What is it that you love to do? Thank you, Gemini. You have a blessed week.